With the Bitcoin halving event drawing closer, it's safe to take notes of the slew of predictions targeted at the season. It is one of the biggest seasons in the crypto market and expectations are lined up already. The Bitcoin community is brimming with a couple of bullish predictions. So will Cardano consider this leverage? We have been hit by a swarm. Not a swarm of bees though, it's a swarm of Bitcoin predictions. Blockstream CEO Adam Back, one of the crypto's early pioneers, is pretty confident Bitcoin will hit an all-time high of over $100,000 before Bitcoin halving in 2024. He is willing to drop $1 million wager on it. This happened in an August 7 conversation on X. Back agreed to bet with a pseudonymous X user at Viking OB Bitcoin that Bitcoin will reach $100,000 by March 31st of 2024. On the other hand, Viking said that they believe it won't happen until 2025. The wager date comes in roughly a month before the halving, which is currently fixed for April 26. Back believes that the price will probably reach a new all-time high sooner than the actual date of the halving. Even before Bitcoin's halving came into light, bets on dramatic increases in the price of Bitcoin have attracted huge sums in the past, such as Balaji Srinivasan's $1 million 90-day Bitcoin bet in March. Back had also been bullish about Bitcoin in the past, saying in February that Bitcoin could reach $10 million by the 6th halving in 2032. This time, Back is setting down hard-earned funds to support his most recent claim. Unfortunately, it's a million satoshis, not US dollars, so there's no need to be perplexed at his decision. It is only $290 in current prices, or over $1,000 if Back's prediction comes true. In a response to Back's original post, Jan3 CEO and fellow Bitcoiner Samson Moe said that he also expects a new all-time high for Bitcoin pre-halving, not post. Despite the small bet, it has attracted some snide replies in the responses, yet reflecting a growing bullish trend of the price of Bitcoin among market commentators and analysts ahead of next year's halving. Likewise, in an interview, Charles Edwards, the founder of Caprio Investments, said that the upcoming halving will see Bitcoin become the hardest asset in the world and predicted that the market is already in the early stages of a new bull cycle. As mentioned earlier, Balaji Srinivasan, a tech mogul and cryptocurrency advocate, has made a bet in March that Bitcoin would reach $1 million in value within 90 days. Halfway in, he is raising the white flag. Srinivasan's bet sparked discussions and debates within the Bitcoin community, with most people questioning the feasibility of target prices and others hailing it as a bold move that could potentially put the digital asset back on the map after enduring a long, tiring bear market. Recently, on the short-term basis, a closely followed analyst believes that an exponential move to the upside is in the cards for Bitcoin. According to the trader, Bitcoin's relative strength index is in bull territory on the weekly chart, indicating that momentum is on the up and up for Bitcoin. The trader said, "You think these last couple of days have been crazy? It's nothing compared to what we'll see in the coming weeks. The biggest moves occur as RSI pushes into overbought territory on higher time frames, starting with the weekly. With the momentum on the rise for Bitcoin, it is now in a position to print massive rallies in a single day." He was quoted saying, "Think we'll finally get our first of many 10,000 plus monthly candles here in October." According to the analyst, there is no major resistance left that could stop Bitcoin from rallying toward 40,000 now that it is trading well above the psychological support of $30,000. Nah, there is no resistance above us that was as significant as the one that we just broke through. The path up from here will be faster, more aggressive, and less forgiving of those who are on the sidelines than anything we've seen since the $15,000 bottom thus far. Don't overcomplicate it. It's open air till 40,000. Maybe then we get a pause, but even that won't last very long, in my opinion. Pseudonymous analyst Credible Crypto told his followers on X that Bitcoin is just getting warmed up after rallying to a new 2023 high of $34,606. Also, economist and crypto trader Alex Kruger believes that Bitcoin is preordained to hit $42,000 due to one possible event. According to a new blog post from his financial advisory firm, Asgard Markets, the King Crypto would likely soar more than 24% from its current value by the time a possible spot Bitcoin exchange-traded fund launches. The firm also said that a massive Bitcoin rally is expected on the day the US Securities and Exchange Commission approves a spot Bitcoin ETF, which they anticipate happening in January of 2024. Our view has been that the ETF is quasi-guaranteed, and the SEC would also have it approved by January 10th, and January itself to be precise. We had also been expecting the market to front-run the approval by about a month and a half, but animal spirits have decided to start running now. Given last week's large move, we think that Bitcoin's consolidating for a few days in the 30 to 32,000 range. Before continuation just makes sense. Any dips into the 29,000s are for buying. We also think that the day the ETF gets approved, the market should see a 20% move intraday. We see Bitcoin hitting $42,000 by the time the ETF launch as opposed to approval. Nothing for Cardano ADA? Well, we can stick with some old bullish predictions. Cardano has been under Bitcoin's shadow for the longest time. Macro guru and former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal once predicted that Cardano and other altcoins would massively outperform Ethereum in a bullish environment. In an interview on Crypto Banter, the chief of Real Vision described his crypto portfolio strategy using scenarios from traditional financial markets. In traditional markets, once an established trend takes place, you move out of the risk curve. So for Bitcoin being like government bonds, you then go to Ethereum, which is like corporate bonds, and then you go to junk bonds, which is all the other stuff, and then private sector lending. So I'm just moving out of the risk curve because the trend is established, and I know that in a bull market, Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin, and alts will outperform Ethereum, he said. As Powell moved out of the risk curve, he noted that he doesn't necessarily know whether individual crypto projects like Cardano will ultimately succeed. But according to the macro guru, an altcoin season means that as long as Bitcoin and Ethereum are showing strength, coins like ADA will likely outperform Ethereum. I've got no clue whether Cardano is going to work, or Polkadot is going to work, and got network adoption, so I don't take a bet in that. I just took a bet in a bunch of them, figuring that if we're in an altcoin season, this stuff is going to go up 5x as Ethereum goes up. Cardano doesn't look like it. There are no people like Adam Back who would place 1 million satoshis wagering on Cardano ADA's rise. Things are quite uncertain, but if we fall back to historical records, there might be a good chance. The previous Bitcoin halving events have coincided with potential price increases for ADA and other cryptocurrencies. Cardano is looking set to embrace this move. New data from market intelligence firm Sentiment now shows that Cardano just hit a major milestone. In a new post on X, the crypto analytics firm explained that longtime ADA holders have suddenly started moving the largest amount of tokens in more than a year. The firm also noticed that deep-pocketed Cardano holders aggressively accumulated nearly 44 million ADA tokens, worth about $12.67 million in just 2 weeks. The tweet read, "Cardano has hit a major dormant coin activity milestone. Monday marked the highest amount of older wallets moving ADA since April of 2022, indicating more coins are moving back into circulation. 100,000 to 10 million ADA wallets are also accumulating again. We hear these kinds of reports and we don't expect big props from them, but this is the crypto world. Anything can happen. Perhaps you have not noticed that Cardano is slowly creeping into the mainstream and onto the radar of major players. We have previously noted that the rising popularity of the cryptocurrency has led it to grayscale, as the asset manager recently unveiled a new way for institutional investors to gain exposure to Cardano. Grayscale Investments announced that it was bringing 5 new crypto indices to the crypto market. The 5 indices would allow institutional investors to gain some level of exposure to several assets in the industry without having to go through the hassle of actually buying the coins. As pointed out, the introduction of these indices could suggest rising interest from large investors in cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin. Getting exposure to assets with lower market caps than leading cryptocurrency could mean even larger profits for these institutional players, and Cardano could provide them that opportunity. It remains to be seen whether Cardano will hit the peak. With this uncertainty, it is difficult to reach a realistic price target. But that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification buttons, and we'll see you in the next video.